Okay.
All right, guys.
There are questions.
Thoughts on Kentucky, please.
To me, Kentucky is a very good football team. If you look how they've improved last year, how they improved as a team, and then you take the players that they have returning, including a quarterback that started 12 games, I think they're an outstanding football team. They had some really talented players last year defensively. Lost one of those players, but they've got a lot of quality players on that side of the ball as well. So offensively, I think they got 4 returning starters up front. We talked about starting quarterback. With Boone, they got a great running back, I think, who's a really good back, and they've got some big receivers. I think they got a stable full of wide receivers. So, you know, they're hoping to take that next step. For them, to me, this is their season where they take that next step in the SEC. So it's gonna be a tall order going into a newly renovated stadium. Man, I mean, you look at the money they spend on that thing; it's unreal. And so that's going to be a challenge for our team.
I know you told us last week all the pressure is on them, though, to win this game. Obviously, with you guys last year to this year, the difference in expectations, I think.
Yeah, and I told our team that. You know, I don't want our team to feel any pressure going into this game. I just want our team to go in and play hard, execute, and play the way we play. And our football team, you know, we know how to win football games around here. And you know, I just want our guys to play hard. I want us to execute. Take care of the football, follow our plan to win, and if we do that, hopefully we can play well and make it competitive. Because they're going to be fired up now. They're going to be on the Kool-Aid, and it's going to be a challenge.
What would it mean to you though to get that signature win over in the SEC?
You know, everybody talks about signature wins. You know, to me, we're just trying to win the next game. And I know that's coach speak. But for us, we look at every win we get as a signature win. I don't know what win is more important. Conference wins, to be honest with you, probably are more important when it's all said and done. But you always want to compete well when you go up against the best, and the SEC is the best. And we want to compete well and have a great showing on national TV in front of an unbelievable crowd and excitement there. And we want to represent, and our kids are anxious. They love playing on the big stage, and we've played well on some big stages. And so I'm hoping that we'll go in there and play hard and play well again.
When you say anxious,
indications are that just listen to what's going on in Lexington and kind of what's going on in the media there, and you know, Coach Stoops changed offensive coordinator, came over from Coach Sterling. But it seems like they, you know, with the move defensive lineman over to fullback, they want to play, even though they're going 3 wide receiver set. They want to be more physical and they want to run the ball too. A lot better than they did last year. Is that your expectation going into this game? You know, maybe so. And even though, you know, they've got a new offensive coordinator, I still think any team takes on the personality of their head coach a little bit too. Obviously, Coach Stoops, being a defensive guy, and to me, is a guy that's defense has always been physical, been tough. And I'm sure he's going to want his offense to be a tough physical offense too. But they've also got a quarterback that can spread the ball around. And man, this guy's a big guy that can run the football. And I've had some big quarterbacks in the past that could really run the ball. So I know that's a weapon when you have that. So he's a kid that can do both, and so creates challenges.
Simeon Thomas spent the entire season is locked in as a starter, we heard, but he's not on that 2 deep.
He's not. Simeon is not going to make the trip. We found out just a couple, I guess it's been about 10 days, that he is going to be held out of this game due to some eligibility concerns dating back to last season, and that's all that we can say about that. So we did find out in time to prepare for that. It's not like we just found out today. So we have had some chances to work some other guys there. We fully are confident, though, he will play this season, but he will not make the trip to Kentucky.
Is there anybody else in that situation who's not going to travel for?
Yeah, Ladarius Kidd is not going to make the trip. He has been suspended for violation of team rules and will not play in the first game. Then after that, he will be fully on the go for the rest of the season.
You talked about the guys being.
Sherrod is good.
You talked about the guys being anxious going into the game this week. Of course, emotions high being the first game. Is there a way to kind of channel that emotion and turn it into something positive on the field Saturday?
Well, I think so, man. If you can't get fired up to play this game, I don't know if you can get fired up. But our guys in practice, I thought we had good juice Sunday night, and guys flew around. I mean, These guys are ready to play. Now, whether we play very good or not, I mean, we'll find out. We got a bunch of guys that are on their first day at the office, and a kicker, a punter, a quarterback, you know, a whole group of guys on their first day at the office. And so we'll see how their first day at the office goes. And so that's sort of the joke I've been telling everybody, that we all had our first jobs one day, but it went in front of 65,000 and on national TV. But that's the fun part of it. That's what college football is all about. And to be honest with you, one of those guys are going to step up and play lights out, I guarantee you. Some of those guys are probably going to have some first play jitters. You know what? We're going to get past it. We're going to move past it and hang in there. And so we're excited. I'm excited for those kids to have this opportunity. That's why they come to our place and play here, to play in these type of games, and you get to play early, and we'll see how they do.
Heading into game one, did you accomplish the goals in camp that you wanted to accomplish?
You know, no, I really didn't. Just for the fact that with the number of injuries that we had at the offensive line throughout camp and at the wide receiver position, we were really limited in the amount of time that we could scrimmage live and tackle. We got a great 120-play scrimmage in the first scrimmage. We got a lot of good live work, a lot of good tackling in. After that, we were very limited and had to pick and choose our places to tackle live. Tackling in space and tackling live in a game is way different than doing the tackling drills against the scout guys and tackling bags. So that is, you know, my concern is how quick can we get ready for the speed of the game when you're put in space in a one-on-one position to make an open field tackle against a running back or receiver. But here's the key, how you can compensate from that. You get a lot of guys running to their football. And you get enough guys running to the football, you can cover up missed tackles. So hopefully we can play hard and get better as the game goes along and adjust to the speed of the game.
You've been pumping in crowd noise all throughout the last couple of weeks of practice. Do you feel like your team's answered that? They're up to their task communication-wise?
I think so. That's one thing we've improved at. The first day we did that, we were not very good. But I tell you, it can't be any louder than the juice machine that we've had out there. So it's been cranking, and I made a comment last week. I bet I know the Kentucky Fight song as well as anybody else in Kentucky, because I have heard it every day when we're doing our live situations. And so I think our guys are going to be ready. And communication is a huge part of the game. And how well we communicate and get our checks to one another, and we'll determine how we do.
It came out this week that a couple of college programs fine their players for disciplinary reasons. Does UL do that, or how does UL go about disciplining?
You know what? We have not set a fine policy yet. We have not. I've heard, you know, we've talked about that as head coaches, and you know, that's an interesting fact, an interesting thing to do. But right now, I'm not planning on doing that. And because right now, this is the kids' money. There's some other ways that I feel like I can hold them accountable. And I don't want a kid who can't eat, can't pay his rent, can't buy some clothes because you find him for missing a meeting or being late for a meeting. To be honest with you, we don't really have too many of those issues. And if your program has to fine your kids $10 for missing a meeting, I mean, you might need to make sure you guys are there a little bit earlier. We can handle that, to me, without the fine part of it. There's lots of other discipline issues. I think our guys would much rather give me $10 any day of the week than to go protect the stadium for being late. I would do the same thing. I'd say, Coach, tell you what, just take 50. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do. And so, to me, there's way better ways to discipline your kids than taking $10 if they were late for a meeting. But, you know, everybody's got a plan. And everybody's trying to figure this out. So to me, it might not be any right or wrong reason. I'm just saying that's what we're doing. I know I'm not saying that's a total bad idea, but I'm just saying that's just not going to be our approach starting off.
Do you consider Jamal 100%, or is he going to have to go through that first game until he has true confidence?
Yeah, I think right now he's confident at practice, but just to get in that game and really go at the speed he wants to play at and see how he holds up. Because you remember he finally came back last year, and then, you know, just wasn't quite the same guy that he got injured again. So if he can stay healthy and get back to the speed that he plays at, you know, I think he's a guy that we can go to on Saturday. This is a guy that he loves and relishes this type of opportunity to play against good people.
How ready is Eddie Gordon to kind of
another one of those guys is on their first day in office, and so only time will tell. I'd love to say that he is ready. I think he is. I think one thing he doesn't do a nice job of is he's going to get everybody going in the right direction. And but you know, can we do it consistently all game long on critical plays of the game? You know, time will tell. And we'll get better as the year goes along. No doubt about it.
Ephraim Reed has been a guy that you've relied on in third down, whether it be as a pass blocker or receiver out of the backfield. And I know he's been banged up. If he can't go, who takes that role?
Well, right now, Elijah McGuire is our best pass protector. And man, I'm going to tell you, that guy in practice, and we was watching last year's game clips, he is one of our best pass protectors, along with Ephraim Reed, who's been that third down back. So, you know, I'm looking for Elijah to take most of the snaps. Torrey Pierce is going to get some snaps. Montreal Carter a little bit, but right now Ephraim Reed is our best pass protector by far of the guys we got.
What are some of the concerns?
Elijah McGuire.
What are some of the concerns for the defensive staff with this Kentucky offense? Is there some new there as well?
Yeah, you know, you always just, when you got a new coordinator, you just want to, you know, you always really, all you can do is go on what he's done before in other places. But, you know, he's been a little bit different at West Virginia than maybe he was at Stephen F. Austin and some other places. And you wonder, was that the head coach's flavor that he added to it a little bit? And is Coach Stoops going to put his stamp on some of those things or not? Or is he going to turn it over to him and let him go 100%? So, you know, time will tell. We've got a plan, and then we've got a secondary plan. So hopefully one of those plans will be sufficient, and we'll find out soon enough.
How does the converse of that work? You've got your own players that are playing under a totally new defensive staff. What's the concern going in about, have they adjusted to these guys? Do they have all of the terminology down? Do all of the philosophy, if it has changed, do you feel like they've picked all of that up and they're ready to go?
Well, you know, it's such a drastic change. I'm sure we're still learning a little bit on the run. As far as buying in, I'll tell you, these kids and our coaching staff, they are one heartbeat. And to me, that's where it all starts. And so how much that we feel like we can carry into the game plan-wise, is to be determined. Don't want to carry too much to the fact that maybe we're not quite ready for some of the packages that we have, but we want to carry enough where we feel like that we can make adjustments and be competitive also. So time will tell that too, you know, and we've got a lot of new guys and new scheme, new staff, a lot of new players, and so every year, just like we're talking about right here with Kentucky and us, every year is different. Your team changes about 30 to 35% every year, along with always a coaching change or two. So it's all different in how we put it together and how other teams put it together will determine who's successful.
We'll go back to that 2D. There's a couple more surprising things on there. Lightfoot is listed as second team. Tracy Walker is listed as second team. Those are two guys that we kind of expected to start. So have they been passed up, or is this kind of something that...
No, to me that's probably, you know, we just get some guys' attention a little bit. They're going to play. They're going to play a lot. Might not necessarily be the first play of the game, but they're going to play an awful lot. Those guys are critical to our success.
Coach, I know from mid-major schools like yourself to a Power 5, we talked about it last week, you know, the depth, the difference in the trenches where starters versus starters you match up. Are your guys up front? I know against Florida, against Ole Miss, you look at games in the past, the offensive line has played extremely well. Do you expect that again this year?
Well, I sure hope so. We played awfully well against Ole Miss's front last year, and they had one of the best fronts in the country. And the thing, I challenge our offensive line now. You know, I went up there and wanted to let them know that they weren't good enough to play at Kentucky. And at least Kentucky didn't think they were good enough. So, you know, we got a little chip on our shoulder. And, you know, everybody wants to play against the best, and they want to show that they belong. And I'm hoping that we'll use that as a way to play hard and to really give an unbelievable effort to show that we belong on the field with an SEC team on the road. And so that's the huge challenge. But we got some really good guys up front. We've been good up front since we've been here. We haven't had a whole lot of turnover. We had a little bit this year, but I really like our guys. I think they've worked awfully hard.
Coach, what is kind of the setup you guys are going to have now? Obviously, you know, listen to Coach Smith. He likes to be, you know, on the sideline. Who's going to be in the box just with the changes now? Yeah. Who's going to be on the sideline?
No, Coach Smith and Coach Lucas will be in the box. Coach Harbison, Coach Cheese, and and Coach Harbin will both be on the sideline. And so really that's a huge advantage for us because Coach Harbison's defensive coordinator experience, Coach Cheese down on the sideline, and then our DC in the box. And so we've got a coordinator in both places that those guys are attached at the hip. For people in the coach community to know those two guys, they're attached at the hip. And so it'll be an easy way for those guys to communicate and make adjustments.
Does that you just probably answered it right there. That's more of an advantage than maybe in the past where you in a game like this.
Yeah, you know what, James? Last year I just think that the experience that Coach Smith has, Melvin has, is an awful lot. He brings a lot of experience in here with his staff. And James being in the box last year, was sometimes might have been a little hard to get things accomplished to the sideline, but nevertheless, we'll see how we do.
Do you have your final verdict at quarterback, and also do you have a kind of idea of how you want to present this to them, offensive staff, team, etc.?
Mm-hmm. We do, and we've got a plan, and we've always got a contingency plan, and then we've got a contingency plan for the contingency plan. And so we'll see if any of those plans are successful, and but you better have a plan regardless. And so, but we're excited about the direction we're going. And we think it's going to be hopefully successful, and I think the guys are going to rally and play hard. But our team is confident. To be honest with you, all three of the quarterbacks, even though Jordan has sort of been pushed out of the race a little bit, he's a guy that's going to eventually play. He's going to play one day. He's a talented kid.
I know you said you wanted to tell him by Monday. Have you told him yet? Is that something that's coming later on?
Yeah, we're going to probably tell him late this evening before tomorrow's practice.
Telling everybody to stay off Twitter.
Oh yeah, they'll be on Twitter. No, yeah. Because they're still going to both get reps tomorrow, with the ones. And so we'll let them know tonight and before practice tomorrow, based on some of our schedules, and roll from there. But just want the guy to get in his head, start preparing in his head, and want the other guy to start preparing in his head too, because he's got to be ready also. So.
Two freshmen on special teams, you make room in them to take those spots. But a couple guys with the two deep on the offense too, Gary Haynes, Keenan Barnes, were those guys that kind of took up and stole your attention?
Yeah. Keenan Barnes is going to play. He's going to play a lot early. Gary Haynes is going to play. He's going to play a lot early. Both those guys. Jamarcus Bradley is going to maybe play a little bit. He will play a lot before the season is over. Cole Prunham, probably he's listed at the second center. Probably would not really be the second center in the game. It would probably be Grant Horst. But he will travel, and he's a guy that is going to be a phenomenal center in the future. Just a freshman, and we've got to make sure he's ready for big time ball.
How important is it for guys like Cole to be a center, so that way you don't have, Andre Huval leaves, but center's one of those positions you'd like to develop a guy all the way through, right?
That's one area that we've struggled with is we've signed some centers. One transferred, one ended up getting injured and didn't play anymore. So our true centers that we recruited ended up not working out, and so we had to convert guys to center. Generally, that's not really what you want to do with the center position, but that's sort of what we were forced to do. But luckily, Eddie's a true center. Cole now is a true center, but if we had to move Grant, he was not a center in high school. He's been developed into that along with Donovan Williams. Both those guys would be the next two guys we would go to in the game situation right now. Not saying Cole couldn't do that before the year's out.
So would the ideal situation be that he travels, but maybe possibly redshirt?
Possibly. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
What's the benefits, I guess, of traveling for a young buck? And I know there's going to be guys, I'm sure you're traveling, maybe playing on redshirting, going to that environment, going to seeing how it's all done.
Yeah, just because we'll travel kids each week. We want them to get used to the routine, especially quarterbacks. And so we want those guys to get used to the routine, how we do things on the road, business-like, being very professional. And so next year when they do travel, Cole Prudhomme is the starting center one day. It's not his first time to get on a plane, first time to go to the team hotel, along with those freshman receivers also. So it's a learning experience and something they've got to be able to do.
With so many new faces, when Cajun fans either make it to Lexington or turn on the TV this Saturday, what's really the identity of the team they should expect to see?
Well, first of all, every year we try to be a tough physical team. I think that we displayed that last year. We want to be tough. We want to be physical. That's who we want to be first and foremost. We got a bunch of young guys. They're getting tougher. Some of our veterans already are tough. And that's the way we try to develop our guys and train our guys. So we always want to have that sense of toughness, but also offensively, we want to play with great tempo and get the ball to our playmakers. Whomever the quarterback ends up being, he's got Elijah McGuire beside him and Jamal Robinson out to one side and Al Rouse to the other. And so Gabe Fuseli. So to me, we've got some outstanding skill players, and that quarterback doesn't need to feel like he's got to do it all himself. He's got to do a good job of managing the game, distributing the ball, carrying out his execution, and if we can do that, I think we got some guys hopefully can make some plays.
Got Simeon there, knowing that you aren't going to have him there. Who kind of maybe steps up into his spot, and how long do you think this could possibly drag out? Could it be a couple weeks?
Yeah, it could be a couple weeks, not for sure, but I would say probably at least a couple of weeks. But Savion looks like he's probably going to get some playing time at his spot. Savion's long too. Savion's long, runs well. Jarrell Brazil has had a phenomenal last week. There's not a guy on the field that's going to be faster than Jarrell Brazil. Not saying they can't get behind him if you don't play with good fundamentals and all those things, but this guy can turn it over when he runs. And so I'm hoping that he can be a weapon for us, both in the kicking game and in defense.
Coach, I know everyone's excited about getting back out and playing a different team, but I've asked both of Peters, more so with him, I'm sure, right? I mean, he's a former FCC guy, had to sit out last year. Is this going to be, or had the potential to be, kind of a coming out party for the Cajun fans for Otha Peters?
Well, I sure hope so. Whenever you have to sit out a year, you talk about being hungry to play. If you think our guys were hungry, take a guy that hadn't played in 2 years. So he's really ready to play, and he's played probably against Kentucky. So he's been in the SEC. He knows the speed of that game, and that's what he brings to our defense now. He is one physical joker now, and when he tackles hard. And so I'm excited about him being on our sideline. I'll tell you that.
Coach, with this group, you've always stated in the past that you win games in the summer, with the workout stuff, but going into weeks of practice before a game, you've always stated, hey, I kind of got a gut feeling we're going to play well this week, or we haven't really. I realize you haven't been to Wednesday yet, but what is your gut on this team as compared to last year?
A little harder to probably put a thumb on it this year, just so many new guys. Last year, I think we knew what we had. We knew what we had. We started off great and all, we had some injuries, and we didn't play well early, and combination of all those things, but we sort of knew what we had, and then we got it going, and we reeled off, I think, 7 straight. This year, you sort of, there's some question marks. So I think we've got an outstanding team. I think we've got some young, talented players. But they've got to get an opportunity to grow, develop, get their feet wet, hope they can show their composure, and do all those things that you've got to be able to do in a big-time game. And so I know one thing, they're going to be excited to play. This freshman class we have, they've got more juice and passion than I've seen in any freshman class we have. They love to play the game. So it's going to be fun.
That's good.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.